Happy day, I'm Due to the exploitative nature of a lot of these story animation channels, I told you guys that I was reluctant about doing them again. However, I think today we should try out Story Booth because they published my friend Melanie Murphy's coming out story, and I know for a fact that this is true. So we're gonna check them out and see what's going on here. I did the wrong thing after being bullied. Oh, did our girl get revenge? Story Booth, yeah!
When I was in middle school, I got bullied really bad.
Okay, I feel like if anything bad is gonna happen, it's gonna happen in middle school. Like in elementary school, had a great time, had friends. I mean, I didn't have friends for a lot of elementary school, but then I made friends and then it was chill. High school was chill for the most part. Middle school is where I was eating lunch in the bathroom. So I relate to this, and I feel like everyone's like brains aren't quite developed enough to really truly understand how mean that they are in middle school. There's a lot of innocence in elementary school. There's a lot of everybody already having these formed cliques and doing their own thing in high school. Middle school, everyone's trying to figure it out. And I almost feel like the mean girls in middle school are like cosplaying as mean girls because they like want to be that in the future. For some reason, people aspire to be Regina George. When Mean Girls came out, people made burn books. The whole lesson of the movie was to not make a burn book, and everybody was making burn books.
It stayed like that for about 3 years. I was bullied mercilessly. I was called names and stuff got thrown at me, and people would write mean names on the bathroom walls.
Oh my goodness. Here's what I don't get. I really genuinely feel like teachers do not do enough to stop bullying. I mean, it's not their job. Like, they're there to teach, but I've been in so many scenarios where people were writing stuff on the wall and it stayed up for a while. People were throwing stuff at each other and the teacher never said, like, get out. Like, there was never really a consequence. Like, there was this girl named Abigail, I remember being in school with her, and the teacher audibly heard one of the guys say, "She's called Abigail because it's a big whale." The teacher did nothing. In fact, I think I remember the teacher like low-key giggling. So like something needs to be done about that, I think. Like, there needs to be incentive to be nice if kids won't play nice naturally.
It got to the point where it got physical. I was actually beaten up by multiple people when I was walking down the hallway for literally no reason.
I never got beaten up. That is really, really, really unfortunate. And also, can I just say that with this channel, a lot of the other ones, they use the same like girl voice actress who sounds the same in every single video, and she has like a very soft and just kind of stereotypical voice that anyone could relate to. I like how they're going with a different voice in this route. Hashtag no voice actors. Love that.
My parents did everything that they could do, but the principals and teachers just didn't seem to care enough.
As they do. Literally as they do.
And nothing ever really got done to stop it. It was a terrible time for me, tragic and traumatizing, and I was scared. I hated going to school. I didn't want to be there. I honestly was depressed and afraid. It was very stressful and difficult for me.
There was a time in school where stuff got pretty bad, and it got to a point where I tried my best to come up with the best excuse possible to like not go to school, or if I knew that both my parents were at work, I would literally play hooky. So this is like a big problem that I have with bullying, is that everyone is entitled to an education, and so it should be on the agenda to prevent bullying from happening, because this girl could be a very smart, very talented girl, and she might be screwing up her like future potential by not wanting to speak in class, by not wanting to engage with other classmates, by not wanting to like participate, you know?
But when I got into the 9th grade, things changed. I got a new state of mind. I wouldn't allow myself to be bullied.
Me too!
And what I mean by that is I went crazy. I started fighting people. If I felt disrespected, I would go nuts, cussing them out, screaming at them, threatening them. I was constantly in trouble, getting in-school suspension, getting sent home. My parents were always being called. It got to the point where the school literally told my mom, "Your daughter is going to end up in jail."
Isn't it so funny how when it's other people bullying her, they get away with it scot-free? When it's her bullying other people, the principal's like,
she's gonna end up in jail.
In school suspension, maybe even expulsion. Like, why does it work like that?
They recommended sending me to an alternative school. My mom, however, didn't feel like that was the appropriate response, and she got me into therapy. Unfortunately, it didn't work Honestly, my rage lasted for about 2.5 years, and I honestly don't even know how I had friends. I can't imagine that I was a good person to be around.
Maybe she had friends because a lot of people were scared of her. It's one thing to like let people push you around, but people will want to be closer to you if a lot of people are scared of you. And that's just like a sad human herd mentality thing. And also, I don't blame her for the counselor not working. Okay, I went to a counselor once when I was in school, and the counselor listened to everything that I said and then told all of administration about it, because when I talked to anybody else in admin, they completely knew about it. And I thought that there was like a confidentiality thing, but apparently there wasn't. So I could see how that wouldn't help. Maybe I'm just like projecting my own emotions onto this, but I feel like she really went through it, and I can relate to being made to feel small to the point where you start retaliating constantly.
It took me a long time, but I finally realized that the reason why I was doing what I was doing was out of fear of ever having to be bullied and treated like that again.
This is so honest.
I didn't want anyone to look at me as weak, so I just went crazy and I lashed out at anyone. And me doing that turned me into the people who bullied me.
Oh.
Even though it took years, I've changed and matured, and the therapy did start to help once I started realizing why I was acting the way that I was acting.
Nobody ever rationalizes becoming mean because people were mean to them. Like, I'm sure she didn't rationalize it. I'm sure she was just scared and fearful. And fear is a very strong emotion. This is also an interesting case study because I feel like if she kind of had like sociopathic tendencies, if she never did feel guilt and wasn't naturally like an empathetic person, she would have just realized that this is the way to get what you want and this is the way to get people to treat you well. And that's why bullying is so scary, because it trains people to do this kind of thing to get ahead in life. And had this girl not felt guilt, she would grow up and enter the real world and do that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's why you meet people like that in the real world who are just so cutthroat, and you know why they're doing it, because they get everything they want because of it. It could just be like former people who got bullied when they were little.
And that it wasn't changing anything, it was just making me into a monster.
She's really lucky that her capacity for empathy and compassion is high, and that she was able to grow out of it.
Just because someone does something to you doesn't mean doing it back makes you any better than them. There's always a healthier way to cope with things.
Oh girl, that was so true. That was so real. I loved it. This is like one of the first animations I've ever reacted to that I didn't feel like absolute garbage after. I think that this is a really good redemption story, and I think that it's really honest, and I think that this girl admitting that she was mean and she bullied people and she fought people and she made people feel really badly, yes, that gives you moral high ground to say,
I'm a better person than you!
But it's really honest, and this kind of stuff happens. That's why it's good to share awareness to it, and it's good to forgive people when they make mistakes. Like, I just love it. I gotta do another. We gotta get in. This is so embarrassed when my teacher read my note to the class. One time when I was in high school, these guys were like sending notes to each other and trying to get the foods teacher to notice, and the food teacher like snatches it out of one of their hands and decides to read it out loud to humiliate them, and he's like, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. So like, he didn't realize that these guys were purposely sending this note so that he would read that out loud in class, and it was just like, it was iconic. Just had to tell you about that.
So me and my best friend Ellie were sitting in class, and we were just waiting for our new history teacher because our last history teacher got pregnant, and we were talking, everything was fine.
I hope nothing bad happens to this girl because she just has such a sweet voice. She seems so shy, and she seems too innocent for this world.
The door opened and this guy walked in. Then he said he was gonna be our new history teacher. We just thought, oh my god.
Even the girl cutting the flowers outside is like, she's like that emoji that's like that weird smile. She's like, heck yeah, I'm looking in here too. I'm gonna cut these roses for way too long.
This super cute guy is gonna be our new teacher. Our mouths were literally open and we couldn't even talk because he was so cute.
Oh dear.
And we were just giggling, talking about him. Then in the middle of class he said we should shut up because we were really loud.
He's like, thank you, I'm good looking. Now shut up, everyone. Good for him.
We really wanted to continue talking about him because this was so overwhelming. And I started writing a letter for her that I was going to give to her to read.
No.
And he saw me writing this letter and he took it out of my hand and decided to read it in front of the whole class.
Classic. I called it. This is what teachers do. As a teacher, you got to read it first before reading it out loud because you never know. This is one of those situations.
I said, no, don't read that. This is super private. And he said, no, I insist. I was like, oh my god, yeah, okay, this is the end, bye-bye. And he started reading it out loud for the whole class to hear. He read, oh my god, Ellie, don't you think the new history teacher is so freaking hot? Oh my god, I want to marry this guy.
Geez. Okay, why would he keep reading it? Why would he? Oh my goodness, what would you do? What would you do if you were the teacher in that situation and you're like reading that and you're like, oh yeah, actually you were right. I definitely should have not read that one.
He turned bright red, I turned bright red. The whole class was laughing and he said, I'm sorry about that. And then he said, Lucy, can you come to my desk after class? And I was like, oh my god, please, I just want to die.
Okay, I mean, if I was the teacher, especially if I was a male teacher in this situation, I definitely wouldn't say,
come and visit me after class.
I would have any exchange that was going to be had in front of the entire class, no matter how intense or embarrassing or humiliating it is. I wouldn't want the rest of the class to be like, what? Like, I wouldn't want them to like clock me as some kind of creep.
So after class, I went to his desk and I said, yeah, I'm so sorry. This will never happen again. And I was obviously just joking. And I turned red and I was sweating. I was laughing, but I actually wanted to cry. I went out of the classroom and ran into the girls' bathroom. And I just sat there and I was just crying. And then my best friend came in and said, oh my god, are you okay? What happened? Oh my god. What did he say? And I just told her what happened. And she was like, oh my god, that is so embarrassing.
Oh, I mean, that's all her friend could say. And like, this girl is so sweet. Like, I can tell from her voice that she is totally the type that would cry from this. Because if it was me, I wouldn't cry. I would just like I would freeze up and I wouldn't be able to breathe. And I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I would just run away and I wouldn't cry about it. I'd just be too traumatized to even cry.
So yeah, that was my story.
Oh, that was so cute. That was so adorable. I really, really like Story Booth, actually. I like it a lot. Please go and subscribe to Story Booth. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see me again, make sure you hit push notifications and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Oh, that was so cute.